M3. I'm in a Melbourne red M3 E90 slick top.
Yo! Alrighty, so what, 2 hours into ownership?
2 hours into ownership and I went into limp mode.
Yeah.
And now I'm over here at Precision.
I mean, you came by to hang out and show me the car and surprise me, and then now you're here to show me the car. Every light possible.
Literally every single light came on. I was
let's
like,
turn it on so everybody can see it.
yeah, what's the issue? So service. Oh, it's back to normal now. What the heck is that all about?
It scared of me.
It happened. It really happened. It really happened, dude.
It happened.
3 hours in.
Yeah, 3 hours into ownership.
No.
Throttle actuator.
What are the chances of that?
It's crazy because your car is low mileage, but it's at that mileage where I kind of expected it. So when you called me and you told me, yeah, all the lights, I was like, I think it's your throttle actuators.
Oh my God. Of course.
You know what it is?
What?
It's basically your car saying, I need the mic touch.
It needs to have attention right away. It doesn't want to wait anymore.
Exactly.
I guess
First day
okay.
of ownership, right?
It's okay. At least we'll get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Can we get throttle actuators?
Not right now.
I mean, like within a couple days.
Oh, I'll have it by tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So within 3 hours, I had everything was fine. I took it to go show my friends and drive around Irvine, and then of course the actuators go out within the first 3 hours. This is not a joke. Literally the first 3 hours. I was at Parker's house and I was showing him the car, and pretty much what happened is all the lights came on in the dash. I'll put a picture right here, and it was the same thing that happened during Thanksgiving last year on my E92 M3, that the actuators went out. And yeah, first 3 hours. So it's okay. This is what I expected. I put money aside to budget for this, to actually do the throttle actuators, and it does have the rod bearings done, but I'm gonna do like the fuel breather valve and look at the center support bearing just like I did with the E92. So it's okay. Like, I'm not tripping. This is how it goes sometimes. It's just crazy to me that within 3 hours my actuators went out. If you can hear my voice, I've been talking all day. It's been fun. I had a really good time, but with these cars you have to expect things to go wrong sometimes. I just didn't expect within the first 3 hours of ownership, so it's okay. It happens. You go into these cars knowing that there's a couple things wrong, and I expected it. We'll get it sorted out. We have to put the stock X pipe back on, get throttle actuators, and then next week I can go smog it. So it's okay, man. Like, I'm not tripping. I'm happy just to be an E90 M3 owner again. It feels good. I feel good. I'm happy. It's okay, things happen.
It's unfortunate, but you know, it's time for us to just change out everything that the car needs anyways, just like the first time you bought the car.
I mean, I'd rather have it happen now than being out like on a road trip across country or have anything go wrong.
Or in the canyons.
True.
Yeah,
this
or
is
on the track.
Probably the best.
Willow.
Yeah, that's true. This is probably the best scenario to have.
Yeah.
Here, I got you. Good?
Yeah. Let me go down lower.
So if you guys want to learn more about E90s, which you probably already know a decent amount because you're here on my channel and that's all my channel has been. But the funny thing is, you know, I had a friend, Thomas, that he has an E93 M3. I think he still has it. And he would press the start button on and off 9 times. And on the 10th time, your throttle actuator would pretty much go further, where the part that's broken would go past the sensor or past the part that picks it up in your actuator. And then you'd have, you know, a certain amount of time where you could do a couple more starts and the car would keep driving. So I just did that. I just turned the car on and off, and it's okay now. So it'll get to the point where you can't go over a certain amount, which limp mode usually puts you at like 4,000 RPMs, I believe, and then you can't drive over that. So you can still drive the car, it's okay. But yeah, I just drove off right now and it reset, and it's okay. There's no lights on right now, but the actuators are bad. They're faulty, which actuators do go bad on this. And I will text the dealership and tell them, but it, like I said, I expected this. I just texted this to my sales guy. I said throttle actuators went out, and it's okay. Life could be much worse. If throttle actuators going out on my M3 is an issue to me, I have problems. It's not an issue. There's much bigger issues in the world than that. It's okay. We can fix this. And Mike at Precision, I can't tell you enough. He doesn't pay me to say this stuff. He works on all my cars, and he ordered the parts right now. So thank you, Mike. If you guys ever need anything, make sure you guys check out Precision Dynamics over here in Costa Mesa. This is the front of the shop. I've never shown this really, or I have maybe once, but they are your go-to shop for anything BMW. And they're building something crazy. You're gonna love what they're gonna be building for the next project. There's an E90 on a truck pulling in. Yeah. Whose is that?
Oh yeah, I think his throttle actually failed.
So 2 throttle actuators the same day?
Yeah, but this one we actually installed it, but he supplied a rebuilt one.
Oh, okay.
So we've seen that happen.
My first time having my car in the shop. Yeah, I have no idea what to expect.
Oh, you catless!
It is catless, huh? That's why it's so stinky.
A little exhausted.
Yeah, see, I knew there was something.
Right here. Fat leak.
Yeah, that's why my eyes are burning.
Like a fat leak. There's no gasket.
So when I sit at stoplights, this is what burns my eyes.
Yeah.
There's no gasket in there at all.
There is. It's just completely blown out.
Oh.
Yeah. It's probably the waffle
I'll give
style.
you 5 cents for this.
6.
6?
Yeah. All right. Is this titanium?
No.
No?
Stainless.
It's like H&R Springs with stock suspension.
Ready?
Yep.
First day in the shop with the E90. You happened to buy E90, what, a couple weeks ago?
Yep.
And you already put TEs on it?
Yep.
What else did you do?
I lowered it on STs, XTAs, and then I did front BBK Brembos, 380s, and then I installed a front lip, installed a steering wheel from Mashimaro.
Is that the fastest you've ever modded a car?
Yeah.
That was quick, because I remember you telling me about it. Now it's all modified.
Yeah, and I got Mach-Schnau X-pipe and Bonus rear axle back.
Jeez, you're inspiring me to mod even faster now, bro. So
Well, I mean, you're already there.
I know, but we have to go further.
Yeah.
So the main issue today is the throttle actuators.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we'll include the footage, but what happens exactly with these actuators?
Yeah, so with these cars, you know, just like your car and the other car that we just did, the throttle actuators do fail. Now, sometimes they fail intermittently, just like yours did, where it kicks on the code and all of a sudden you turn it off, let it sit overnight, then it works perfectly fine. Now, the reason for that is, you know, maybe add a link to your previous video of me disassembling it, but there is that gear, right? So once that gear wears down, there's gonna be a point where it just won't catch.
And it's
it hits
plastic, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So once it hits that certain threshold, it'll throw on the light. But then you let it sit, it resets to where it is, and then now you drive the car and it bypasses that area and it works perfectly fine.
So that was the technique we were talking about with pressing the start button over and
Correct.
over again.
Yeah,
Okay.
just keep doing it and eventually it works. But, you know, that's kind of like a band-aid, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna have this problem no matter what. So you should just resolve it rather than deal with it. Imagine this is that button willow where you have to limp it back home or tow it back.
Yeah,
You know? So,
I understand that. Well, let's say that somebody right now, their actuators are out, but they have to drive to the shop, or they have to at least make it work for a day or two. What would you recommend? Like, how do they do that process?
So just shut it off, turn it back on, key it on, and on just multiple times, like maybe 10 times, and then turn on the car, and then it should work. If it doesn't work, you can still drive the car, because you'll be stuck in limp mode. You can't go past 4,000 RPM, but it's drivable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you drove the car.
Yeah, I mean, last night I drove it home
Yep.
and here, and then this morning when I came here, the car had no issues, but
Yep.
it did have a check engine light, but it was
Yeah.
not in limp mode.
Exactly, but so that's usually what happens. But you want to pull the code and find out what it is, because eventually it'll fail to the point where you can't drive the car at all.
Okay.
So,
Okay, one more question though. With the notifications I got on my dashboard, how come 20 things came up?
yeah, so
I had everything come up at once. I'm like, oh, it's a 3-hour-old car, bro. Come on.
So the throttle actuator controls your valves, right? So the valves is going to be basically your individual throttle body. So when that kicks on, you have a limp mode for it not being able to open. Then you also get increased emissions because it's actually not allowing it to flow through to your fuel breather valve.
So domino
It
effect.
actually communicates, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then you also get ABS and DSC lights because, again, it's all linked up together in one system.
It scared me. It scared me so bad because I'm like, oh no, everything is wrong. But I remember that this is a symptom of the actuators.
Correct. You called me and I was like, oh, throttle actuators.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then we'll add this on too, because we have the other car here now as well. We installed a rebuilt throttle actuator or two onto that car. He called us and said he's towing it back over to us. This was yesterday. He picked up the car, towed it back to us to today, and it had all the lights you had.
Oh, the same ones.
All.
Huh.
And I was like, well, again, sounds like a throttle actuator issue. Pulled the car in today after he towed it here. Pulled the codes, throttle actuator.
It's like-
Moral of the story is, don't buy rebuilt throttle actuators, because yeah, they can repair the board, change out the resistors, change out the capacitors, they can change out the gears in it, but at the end of the day, you still have the circuit board, which can be, you know, a failure point too.
So it's better to buy brand new.
Yeah, just do it once, do it right. You know, like the rebuilt ones, you could probably get for I think like $350, $400. just spend the extra couple $100 to get brand new ones and never look back. You know, like these do fail, but I mean, yours, once we pull it out, we'll know how old it is, and if it's original, likely it is. You know, your car is a 09, right?
Yeah.
09, it's now 2021. It's what, 13 years plus, about what, 50,000 miles on it?
Yeah.
And it finally failed? That's a long time.
So and it can range too, because I had someone in the Facebook group, the M3 owners, they said they had an 08, but it lasted 160,000 miles.
Yep.
But OEM.
Yeah, so it's all relative, because like, again, it's how much you drive the car and how you drive the car. So you're constantly driving the car, babying it at, you know, 3,000 RPM, it's gonna hit that same threshold all the time and wear down that one area.
Yeah.
But if you're driving it hard, it's gonna wear down evenly all across, so it should last longer theoretically. It's all relative to how you drive the car and, you know, how it was built and your luck.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, it's just your luck.
When all those lights came on, I was not surprised because I was prepared for it. Because buying these cars, this is my 4th M3, my 3rd E9X. It's bound to happen.
Yep.
Rod bearings and TAs, and then a couple other things.
Yep.
So we expected this. Now, to remove throttle actuators, what's the first process we have to do?
Intake box comes off. For me, at least, so I'll just help you guys out too. So if you guys are doing this from home, the easiest way to get this air box out is to actually remove these two T20 screws here and here. Take out the snorkel, then you can remove this, because for installation purposes, this is going to be really difficult to reinstall. And at the same time, removing this intake box with this still stuck on here, you will be fighting this. So just remove these two screws, remove these two pieces out of the way. Intake box is held on with two 10mm bolts here. Remove those two, and then undo this air duct, and then this, just squeeze these two, and then pull out this hose that actually goes to your outer air control valve. So once you get that out, you pull the intake box out, and then remove this so you have access to be able to see under here. There are a total of 8 clamps underneath this intake manifold. And once you remove those are actually 6mm nuts. Damn, I remember everything.
I know, you got a lot going on right now. I got lost like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I blacked out. I'm like, I'm just filming, man.
8 6mm clamps underneath, and then you can pull out this intake box. There is one hose underneath here, that same thing like this. Squeeze it, pull it out, and then one on the back side that goes to the opposing side of your fuel breather valve. Actually, that goes to your brake booster.
and don't worry, we're going to show this whole process.
Yeah.
But before we get started, we're going to do a quick fire round of questions, okay? So just answer real quick, and we'll go to the next one.
Yep.
How many throttle actuator jobs have you done in your life? If you could count.
Too many. I'd say over 1,000 at this point.
Over 1,000, okay.
I mean, hence why I can remember everything.
on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the hardest, 1 being the easiest, what difficulty is throttle actuator?
Probably a 4.
4?
Yeah, for me, this is probably a 1.
Yeah, simple for you.
Yeah, because I mean, I've done it so many times. But on a scale relative to somebody who is a DIY guy trying to learn, I'd say it's probably a 4.
Okay.
You know, you can do this at home, definitely.
Having the right tools helps.
Yeah. It's just time consuming, and having the right tools definitely helps, because you can, I mean, you saw in the other video too, you know, you're running a long extension with the swivel, stuff like that. Some people won't have those tools, or just use a flathead. It might take a little bit longer. You know, for you, if you're doing it at home and you're using a flathead, it's best for you to remove these two 10mm bolts here, lift up the expansion tank so you have more access underneath that as well. Okay. So there's a lot of tricks into it. So for me, I don't even touch that, because I can access all of that with the proper tools.
Okay, got it. Okay, so last question, what is the time on this to do?
For me, I could do these in probably 30, 40 minutes.
And then what's the average time for enthusiast?
Probably 3-4 hours.
All right, well, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Well, we're gonna do this.
Can you explain what goes wrong in
Yeah, so inside of here, which we already opened up, there is going to be a actuator that is plastic. Now those gears actually do wear down, and over time they start to fail. Now the purpose of a throttle actuator is to control electronically from your DME, which actually controls this actuator, which pivots this arm here, controls the valve inside of here. So this one's already installed, so you guys can see. The rod is right here. The other end of it connects to the throttle actuator. When this actuates, it spins it and opens the valves like this.
So where do they sit?
Oh, right inside of here.
Okay. So these ones have 50,000 miles on it.
Yeah, and then the cool thing is, once this is off, there's actually a date printed on here of when it was made.
Okay.
So it'll be the day, month, and then year.
So when you pull these out, you can see when they were made.
Yeah, so
Okay.
08, basically 09, because it's towards the end of the year. But that's how you know they're original.
Okay.
Because your car is a 09. So this has to be made before that, right?
So with the replacement, what brand is this?
So this is VDL, as you guys can see here. This is actually the company that makes it for BMW. You can look at it, it's identical. And then if you actually look here, it's even stamped VDL.
How much would a dealer charge for something like this, you think?
Throttle actuators, their price would be like $900 something for each one.
Jeez.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
And then labor, they'll charge 6 hours.
That's a lot. Seems overkill.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it at home.
Yeah.
Do it at home.
How do these go in?
Yeah, so it's pretty easy. So let me shut this down. You guys can watch it on his now.
Because this is relatively simple to put in, right?
Yeah, so what I do is, as you can see, all the wires are up. There's two 10mm nuts, one here, one back there, one back there. Lift up this whole harness loom up, so you have passageway to here. Do one at a time. So once you pull this one off over here, you can pull off the opposing side. Installation, the easiest way to install it and get the bolts in is to, where's the bolts? Arlen, where'd you put the bolts? Oh. So, I grab the bolts, I place them inside of here, install it with the bolt inside of there. And then once we go inside of here, feed it through, and kind of maneuver it around, like so. And then place it down. And then once it's in here, we can line it up to the holes down here, like that. And then you grab a T30. So, best way to do it, again, make sure you guys do everything by hand first. Extension and a T30. And then you can place it onto the bolt and then tighten it by hand first. Make sure that it catches. That's one.
Kenny, I see you in the mirror.
The third. So, think it tight. We'll tighten that down after.
I was like, what's behind me, bro? It's like the lighting just got really good.
So
why do you do it by hand first? Just
so
so
you
it's...
don't cross thread them. So if you don't and you start using hand tools or forcing it on, you can cross thread it. And then make sure that you don't fully tighten down one of them before you get to the next one. So that way you can make sure that it's already threaded on. If you tighten down one first, it might be a little offset and you're gonna try to tighten it and it'll just damage the threads. So these do not really need to be torqued down, just snug them because they are not a moving component. Then you have the connecting rod. So again, you can see inside of here, it pivots this, like so. And then this rod goes onto this. And then when you put this on, make sure you pull it and hear that clip. Then this side connects over here to this. We're gonna push this rod down. So originally it's like this, push this rod over, and then you'll have more clearance, like that. Again, listen for the clip. That's what you wanna hear. Make sure that's secured, because if you don't get that in all the way, it'll fall off. It's pretty much installed.
Cool.
And now it's just reassembly. There's just two wire connectors that goes to here and here. And then we disconnect the O2 sensor, connect it from here, and then just move it out of the way just so we have more additional room, that's all. So this is one of the connectors here for the throttle actuator, and this is the other one.
So this is now just reassembly?
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
So when we get to the part where we start the car up, is there any procedure you have to do?
No, well, we gotta clear the lights first.
Okay.
So if you have a check engine light or engine malfunction from the throttle actuators, it will not automatically go away. You have to clear the codes, turn on the car, drive it, make sure it's good.
Are there any other codes that would pop up that would indicate throttle actuator issues?
It's always going to throw just a throttle actuator code. It's going to be either throttle actuator or idle air control monitor. So one or the other. But I'll say, like, you know, depending on your scanner, it could say bank A or bank B, or it could say bank 1, bank 2. It could be either, you know.
question. So we're done?
Kinda.
What do we have to do now?
Drive the shit out of it.
So just go launch it everywhere?
Yeah.
What's
No, it's pretty much done.
So now it's just to test drive it?
Yeah, just test drive it, make sure it's all good.
Take it around the block.
Spencer's gonna drive it.
Alright. My car.
Yeah.
My car.
So, once you're done test driving the car, then you and me and AJ are gonna go get a video clip and photos of all three of our cars with T37.
Yes, yes, let's do it.
Man, we had a whole fucking house block party going on.
All right, we're on the test drive right now. Everything feels pretty good. I'm low on washer fluid, but it's all right. I can fill it up when I get back. Need to fix that exhaust leak too, but car feels good. Whoa! It's got pops and bangs. I didn't know that. I didn't know it did pops and bangs over 5,000 RPMs. I definitely feel like I shot a flame, and that makes sense because I'm catless, or it felt like a flame, but damn. I don't really like burble tunes, but it's kind of cool with it being not so loud. So I just went for a drive to test everything out, and it feels great. Car feels really, really good now. I had never really gotten on the car. I never floored it, and it has burble tunes. I kind of knew it, but not really. But we're gonna go do a photo shoot now. I have to go work today. I brought my laptop, but I was filming, so yeah, throttle actuators. Hopefully you guys learned some stuff from this. I had fun filming it. It was a really fun day, and we're gonna go do photo shoot. My friend AJ is here with his E92. I sold them my inventory airbox and also my rear seat delete last year. This car looks really good. He has the white E92, and then we have Mike with his E90 on TEs. Oh, we're all on TEs. I just realized that. Sick. All right, let's go shoot. I gotta say, here are all these nasty M3s. I gotta say, it feels good to be back in an M3, man, in an E90. With all my homies and my friends. I spent the whole day today hanging out with them. I learned a lot. I worked on my own car for the first time in a while. Well, that's not true. I've worked on my car a couple times, but that was the furthest I've gone. It feels good. There's a cul-de-sac we shoot at, which most of you guys will know. Hey, come over here, Mike, park right here. Hey, turn this way, come forward, right there. Now straighten out. And now turn that way, come forward. Keep going, stop, straight, and then go back like a half a foot. Keep going, keep going.